Serious story because it's a dangerous moment in the Middle East as President Biden weighs a response to the deaths of those 3 U.S. service members at a U.S. outpost in Jordan. Now, they were killed in a drone strike. It's blamed on a militia linked to Iran. This morning, we're learning new details about those 3 Americans whose home base was in Georgia. Ed O'Keefe is following all of this at the White House. Ed, I keep thinking about those families who are in deep, deep pain this morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. As we await a decision from the president, we know he's balancing several different factors. One of them, the concern about giving prominence to these militias that have been targeting U.S. military forces since the Israel-Hamas war began in October. But the other factor to consider, how any kind of military response would play here at home. 23-year-old specialist Brianna Moffett, 24-year-old specialist Kennedy Sanders, and 46-year-old Sergeant William Rivers. The 3 Americans killed in Sunday's attack were all decorated Army reservists assigned to the 926th Engineer Brigade out of Fort Moore, Georgia. A U.S. official says the one-way drone used in the attack was Iranian-made, the same kind Iran has provided to Russia to aid in its invasion of Ukraine and to the militias it supports.
Iran continues to arm and equip these groups to launch these attacks.
Pentagon officials tell CBS News the explosive drone came in low and slow several minutes after a U.S. drone was returning from a mission in Syria. The base's air defense system had been temporarily taken offline to allow the American drone to land safely. There was little to no warning for the troops still in their sleeping quarters.
We will respond, and that response could be multi-leveled, come in stages, and be sustained over time.
President Biden huddled with top advisors Monday while it's still unclear whether the U.S. will directly target Iran.
We are not looking for a war with Iran. We are not seeking a conflict with the regime in a military way.
On Capitol Hill, some Republicans say the militias responsible should be hit with force.
These are the tentacles of Iran, and we need to hit the tentacles hard to send a message to Iran that the United States will not tolerate attacks on our troops.
While some Democrats are urging caution.
We are increasingly getting pulled into a wider and wider war in the Middle East, and I think we have to be extremely careful about what our next steps are.
Now, there have been some notable comments from the Secretary of State, who said yesterday that in his view, the Middle East hasn't been in such a dangerous situation in at least 50 years. Those are comments resonating this morning around the world. As for the president, he hasn't said much more yet about the attacks since briefly commenting on them on Sunday. Today, he's keeping a decidedly political schedule with fundraisers scheduled in Florida.
I know we are concerned about the U.S.'s response, but I can't help but to feel for those families.
We back. This right here is heart-wrenching, man. This right here is very sad. Let me just start off, man. Rest in peace to those 3 black soldiers that lost their lives joining the Army for Freaky Joe. What did I say? Go back to last week. What did I say about the Army? What did I say about the military? I said these illegal immigrants coming over here, they already holding Senate hearings. They can if you join the Army and you make it out, you can get citizenship. That's what they're saying. So listen, they joining. If they joining, and I don't care if they joining and they don't get a gun. You know what I'm saying? They just joining just to join. If they joining, they are human body shields. There's no reason for anybody a black American to be losing their life. 2 24-year-olds and a 23-year-old, 1 female, 2 black males from Georgia lost their lives for Freaky Joe. Imagine that phone call you getting. Imagine that phone call that family got. Talking about, my your son, you know what I'm saying, your son and your daughter just passed away. Passed away overseas last night from a missile attack over there. And you know what I'm saying? You can't go out with pride like that. I'm sorry, you can't go out with pride saying, oh man, I died for Joe Biden. This is not funny at all. But I'm just saying, imagine that. I died for Freaky Joe. I put my life on the line for Freaky Joe. Can you imagine that shit? Imagine that shit, yo. That shit hurt. That shit hurt me when I'm reading the story. When I saw the headline hit my phone, when it first happened, it said 3 soldiers killed in Jordan. I thought it was weird because I'm like, okay, that's not what we've been hearing about the conflict going on. The conflict we've been hearing going on in the Middle East about Israel and and Gaza. You know what I'm saying? Over there in Gaza. That's what we've been hearing about. So to hear that the 3 black soldiers, you know what I'm saying? Because at first it was just 3 soldiers. Then the information on their identity came out second. But then when you hear the report, like, listen, and then it came from somebody that's going to back them down. They're going to get backed down. Like, they don't want no smoke with Iran. We don't want no smoke with Iran, right? So it's like, oh, well, you got one up on us. You got one. Like, listen, I'm just saying, I'm not going to get into the particulars because I don't know, right? But what you going to do? They just took your homie just got smoked your goddamn soldier in front of you. And what you going to do? Smoked your goddamn soldiers in front of you. You the commander. You know what I'm saying? Can't go out like that. Imagine that shit. Oh man, I died for Freaky Joe. Do you know where your soul is going after that, yo? I don't even know how you're gonna be reincarnated after that. I hate that these young black people lost their lives, yo. Young black people, like these people, like they were 23, 24. By the time they were like 28, they were gonna be like real vets. They took some real young veterans, yo. They were decorated Army reservists. Decorated already by the time they were 24 years old. Already decorated. Like they was really gonna be somebody, yo. And they lost their lives, man. I really hope the president makes the right decisions on how they get back, because this is a loss for you. This is a loss for you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going like these black people like this. They don't come a dime a dozen. They dedicate their lives to something and become great at it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not good. They don't come a dime a dozen. You're not going to get no illegal immigrants that become decorated Army reservists. So we need something to shake, man. I hate this story. I hate this story, man. Rest in peace to this family. But Freaky Joe, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Got black people out here losing their lives for you. You know, reparations got to be on the line. But I'm going to go and get out of here on this one, man. I'm out.